Hello everyone, my name is Andy, and what the heck is this? Pee-wee's Playhouse called. They want their guitar amplifier back. There is not, I don't think there's a right angle on this thing. Maybe on the top, maybe the rectangle. Because I didn't know until like after I actually seen this in person that, it's kind of hard to see. Not only is this, super funky wise, this, that bass is actually smaller than the top, which is pretty cool. So, what the heck is this? This is the Fender VAPORIZER, and this is part of the Fender Pawn Shop series. I don't know if they're still doing these because my understanding is that they, for each of these models, that they, whenever they came out, they made them for about a year. So they're not making this. I know that much, but I don't know if they're making the series anymore. These, I believe, I saw videos NAMM 2014, maybe 2013, but I think it was 2014 when I was doing some research. In that year, they came out with this, the Vaporizer, and then one called the Rampart. And the idea behind the Pawn Shop series is they're supposed to represent these kind of weird, off-brand, off-color style amps that you'd find in a pawn shop from like the 50s or 60s. And they all have different quirks. This is a 210 combo, and I believe it's EL84 tubes versus the typical like 6V6 that you would find in a Fender amp, or 6L6, depending on what it is. I think the Princeton 6V6, but those 6 varieties that you find in more American style amps. To my knowledge, it's 212AX7 preamp, 2EL, I think it's 84, because 34 are the big guys. Power tubes, and we've got normal and bright inputs, which I think they're technically a little different, because I think it's normal for one, and then it's I don't know if they technically would call it bright, but it's like 6 dB less for number 2. And then 3 controls: volume, tone, and reverb. Very simple. On off, there's no standby. The blue light will be on when it powers on. And it's more or less a one-channel amp, but the vaporizer portion of it is where this red light comes in. There is a single button foot switch, so let's flip to the back. So this is the back of the combo. This is a 210. So you got the EL, I think 30 or 84s, the smaller ones. You got a nice panel cover there that matches the angular design, which I think is super killer. And then you've got the 210 special design speakers. You do have a reverb tank. It's a smaller one. I was told by the guy I bought it from that you can't just plug in any reverb tank. I guess, I don't know if it's impedance, but there's something's got to match. But it'd be really cool to put a longer one in here. And then it comes with a foot switch, which there's a little Velcro strap, which is kind of nice to hold it down. And it's just a single button. I kind of wish it said Vaporize or Vaporizer on it. Plugs into there. And what that does is it legitimately removes the volume and tone and just goes full blast. And I don't know if the reverb's all the way up, or I think the reverb is still in the circuit, but it bypasses these and just goes, it's like a blower switch, everything on 10. And when the guy plugged it into his guitar, it sounded cool. Various demos, they sound both good and bad. So it's kind of a toss-up. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. Something that actually says Fender on it, and then there's Fender musical instruments, made in China. These retailed for $399 US. I paid $300, and for the most part, I'm totally okay with that, because we've got a full tube combo with, another channel or mode on it for $300 and built-in reverb. So the other thing, I think the only thing objectively, just looking at all of this, the simplicity of controls is fine. I think the only thing I wish is that it would have a 2-button foot switch where you could turn on and off the reverb, like a Princeton Reverb, a Deluxe, because this has reverb and then the vibrato or tremolo circuit that you can switch on and off. That's probably the only thing I would have wanted, but beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, made in China, $400 new. This old school style handle, which is very solid, by the way. I mean, it is plastic, but it's thick. So that folds down, has a nice vibe. So we're gonna plug it in and play a few notes. Full disclosure, a lot of my demos, I just try stuff for the first time and just see what happens. I did get a chance to test this, and I was glad that I did before purchase. All right, so we're plugged in, and I'm gonna start by apologizing. One, this will 100% clip my phone mic for two reasons. One, because tube amps are loud, and two, when you hit the vaporizer switch, it's going to be effing crazy. So, I've got two things plugged in here. The foot switch itself, and then I've got my brand new Rev chat breaker that just came today. It's a Blues Breaker style overdrive, so I thought I would plug it in and try it with this. So, this is kind of, so one, you're hearing the amp itself, it's kind of loud. And part of the reason that we can hear things is because the reverb is always present. Right now, this is one of the quirks of the amp. Right now, the volume is completely off, but we can still hear the reverb trail, so it's kind of a wet channel. Oh, wait for it. I wanted to try something. Okay, that's cool. So pedals will still affect, because obviously the guitar has to go through the pedal in order to get to the amp. And I believe you can still monkey with the reverb. Okay, there. So as long as volume is down and reverb is down, you can make your amp quiet while it warms up. Clean. And that is maxed out. So now we got the guitar blended in, but that's kind of cool that you got that option. Tone all the way up. We're in the bridge pickup of a telly, an offset telly, so Telecaster pickups with a jazz body. So that's still reverb all the way up. That reverb is not very present when you do that. That is volume halfway up, tone all the way up, reverb all the way up. Volume all the way up. Now, now let's go tone halfway. Turning my volume down. Tone up. Cool. Overall, that sounds pretty good. But now I'm going to hit the vaporizer switch, and what's going to happen is two things. One, it's going to get loud as hell, and two, the red light comes on. And we'll play with the reverb, but I'm pretty sure I think that's part of the circuit, because again, it passes the volume and tone and just does its own thing. Okay, cool. So, in the room, click that off. In the room, that sounds pretty cool. It's gnarly, it's different. And it's okay if it's gnarly and different. Fender, their team wanted to do something different, find different sounds, because again, they're not really into using EL 34 84 tubes. It's usually 6V6 6L6 for that classic Fender. So even, volume quarter the way up, reverb halfway up, tone halfway up. It says 15 watts on the back. Online studies have shown 12 to 13 watts actual output. Who cares? So Princeton-esque as far as power goes. So I'm guessing it's in part because of the power tubes. Again, that's just quarter of the way up. And there's still some break up there, which is cool. With a little chat breaker. It sounds good too. Neck pickup. Really fattens up when you do that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, dislike, do whatever you want. Tell me I'm terrible at guitar. That's fine. I'm just having fun. For 300 bucks, that's a lot of decent sounds. Even if you're not using the vaporizer, volume, tone, and reverb. Probably in the realm of 40 pounds, I'm guessing. So not super light, but definitely giggable. I assume you want to mic it up, but this could definitely compete with a not super loud drummer. So for 300 bucks, I'm pretty impressed. Guy was talking about the lack of use, and like it's got it's 10 years old, right next to the power there. That's not a hair, that's a scratch. There's a couple of worn spots on it, but arguably the coolest color. My second choice would be the red. I think it's rocket red, surf green, and a slate blue. The only thing that it doesn't have that I wish it had was a cover. I don't think they came with them. The only other thing I wish it had would be the hang tags. It was like an old robot. Again, this like 50s style, like nuclear something or another. It was pretty freaking cool. So, but for 300 bucks, I'm pretty happy. This is a lot of amp for 300 bucks. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Bye.